What are you going to learn today? And what is it that you learned yesterday? If that sounds like a preposterous question, I'm far too busy to be studying, then you need to reassess how you're going to reach your long-term plans. Too many of us regard self-education as something that be completed during the years of our formal schooling. But there is much to be learned during every phase of our life. Especially with the rapid pace of change in the economy and virtually every industry, you need to make a concerted effort to keep up with new developments in your field and ensure your own ongoing relevance. The difference with learning as an adult is that you get to decide the curriculum. A lot of us checked out as students when we found our coursework not having any relevance for what we wanted to do in our lives. But there is a whole world to get up to date on. Investments, real estate, online marketing. Adopting a positive mindset in which you can see new fields as fun challenges, not something to fear, but something that can help you continue to add new spheres of expertise and layers of possibilities to your business. Don't think of your age as an impediment to learning new things. Now, it's true that our brains are much more like sponges when we're younger, making it easier as a child to learn certain subjects, especially languages and mathematics that are built upon memorization of objective rules and norms. But the older of us have our own advantages thanks to our experience. We can see patterns and trends in ways that younger colleagues can't. And we often have developed a sense of calm about new challenges or being seen as unsuccessful. This can free us up to be more bold in our thinking. After all, history is littered with stories of late bloomers who educated themselves and mastered new crafts later in life. I think of famed chef Julia Child, who didn't open her own cooking school until her 40s. President Ronald Reagan, who didn't enter politics until his 50s and assumed the presidency at the age of 69. And entrepreneur Ray Kroc, who didn't launch McDonald's into a nationwide franchise until he was in his 50s. I'm especially moved by the example of Michael Jordan, probably the greatest basketball player of all time, who nonetheless took the time off to gamble, risking public ridicule at the peak of his career by venturing onto the baseball field in pursuit of his childhood dream. In all of these cases, well-established professionals took the time to invest in their own self-education and head down a new path. Even if we ourselves are left with more yesterdays than tomorrows, there's a time to learn more and try new endeavors. Obviously, you don't need to return to formal schooling programs necessarily. Most of us will seek ways to educate ourselves while maintaining our employment or business endeavors. Luckily, there's never been more opportune time to seek out knowledge online. There's an emerging trend of more courses and educational programs coming online in which you can learn about your field of interest at your own pace. With all of these online tools at your disposal, don't lose sight of the enormous value of the old-fashioned printed word. Just as you might make it a priority to exercise for an hour a day, you should set aside a regular block of time each day for learning and achievement activities. These might include subscribing to a magazine or periodical focused on your industry, or you might be able to commit to reading more widely outside your immediate sphere of knowledge. The benefits of pledging yourself to ongoing self-education will manifest themselves throughout your life. You'll find yourself to be a more worldly and interesting person in general, which will pay in dividends in any situation you are in. A networking event, a professional conference, or even a first date. I've learned not to bother with discussing the latest happenings on the hottest television programs with highly successful people, because very likely they have little inclination or indication of what's new. That is, unless they're in show business or in some form of entertainment. High achievers spend far more of their time on reading and learning and personal achievement and activities. They recognize the high value of every hour of their time and generally can't stomach the thought of frittering away such a precious resource on entertainment that doesn't produce large returns for them in some terms of insight or knowledge. Now, This is why when I do watch entertainment, it is either purely entertainment or I like something that has some sort of cultural value. Learning more is the sort of nebulous goal that is important, but hard to quantify. Unlike earning a certain amount of revenue or contacting a certain number of clients, it's much less tangible when you really assess how much you've learned. I try to compensate for this through the simple routine of asking myself each evening, what did I learn today? I even write it down in my journal, but that's a topic for another day. And this helps hold me accountable and reminds me of how much progress that I've made, even if I can't visibly see it. It also helps improve my recall by pushing me to reflect back on what I have read each day. Another simple way that I've been able to measure this sort of aspiration about learning more is by making a commitment to learn one new word each day. Now it sounds basic, but it is a powerful tool to expand your vocabulary and improve the clarity of your writing, which still remains one of the most essential skills in getting ahead in business. I also adopt a general mentality of seeking education in my daily life. Once you get into the habit of seeking experience as a learning opportunities, you'll have a lot more patience and curiosity to try new things. A new product or side venture that goes south won't be a failure. It will be a course in how not to use affiliate marketing or something of the sort. A meandering coffee meeting with a young person seeking career advice won't be an unfocused waste of time, but an opportunity to hone your mentoring skills and teach others about how to productively focus meetings. As long as you can come away from your day with a sense that you have expanded your knowledge and your skills, you'll begin to see more and more of your days as wins. So think about how you can begin your own self-education. What steps can you take right now? I would advise that you write out a list of your strengths and weaknesses, but thinking of your weaknesses less as liabilities and more as learning opportunities. Perhaps you identify that you lack the knowledge that in how to give an effective presentation or attract more advertising revenue online. You have now thrown down the gauntlet for what your first self-education track will be. Pledge yourself to spending a chunk of each day over the next month deliberately building your knowledge in this area, using the tools I've discussed. It's easy. Make learning something every day a bit of fun and a prosperous pursuit. And of course, you can always learn more at my website, TonyNewmeyer.com. Receive free trainings, articles, and more. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. You can also get my book, The 7-Minute Millionaire, How to Think Yourself Rich, at TonyNewmeyer.com as well. And always remember, live rich.